Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla News, episode 117. Tesla's Shanghai factory is up and running again and is about to take the next big leap in production volume. And GM has a new pre-order record that GM needs to pay attention to. And Tesla's annual shareholder meeting has been announced. And Volkswagen's CEO says, "We are not competitive." And we have confirmation on Tesla's next Gigafactory. And let's see how the Tesla killer that should be eating into Tesla sales are doing, the Ford Mark E, and compare it to Tesla's Model Y and see how the competition is measuring up when compared to Tesla. All this and much more on today's episode. Let's dive right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
According to analysts, the Fremont factory is running 10 to 20% above normal capacity. Well, according to Chip Trouty from Global Equities Research, the Fremont factory will provide extremely strong production, shipment and deliveries in May 2022. In his report, the analyst says he saw a lot of trucks compared to the first quarter of 2022 and estimate that Tesla has increased the number of transport trucks by at least 20%. Don't know exactly how he does this, but this is why he suggests that the Fremont factory is running 10 to 20% above capacity, and comments that the Q2 is shaping up to be a monstrous quarter. Hope he's right and we'll see some good numbers out of the Fremont factory this quarter. But we of course still have the Shanghai factory, where Tesla has lost about 1 month of work because of COVID lockdown. The Shanghai factory production is now up and running again and back up to about 80% capacity, and the factory should be able to get over production capacity of before the lockdown, as the increase to the production line should be ready in June. So should help this quarter along, as capacity should go from 60 to 70,000 units to 80 to 90,000 units per month. So 90,000 monthly run rate, that would be above 1 million in production run rate for the Shanghai factory. And Tesla is still only saying it can produce above 450,000. Yeah, I'll say. And as Tesla Global Vice President Grace Tao said, they expect everything to be back to normal very soon, as their 100 suppliers also get to ramp back up. And she also confirms that they are about that 80 to 90% of regular production. So all of this is probably why Elon Musk said he still thinks Tesla will be able to produce roughly about the same amount of cars in Q2 as they did in Q1, even though they have been hit by the lockdown, as he said at the earnings call. But Giga Shanghai is coming back with vengeance. We will see record output this quarter. And if they have also ramped up the Fremont factory so it can produce maybe about 15,000 more in this quarter, and Shanghai factory will ramp up to above their former capacity, and we also have a whole quarter with the Berlin and Texas factory ramping up, well, it does seem like Tesla might be able to pull this one off and not go down in production but stay at the same level as Q1, which would be very impressive. And let's just take a 1-minute break to get a quick word about today's sponsor, Blinkist, because not only do they have a great offer right now, but what their service is offering is much more valuable. I have talked about them before, so I assume you know what Blinkist is. They take whole books and take all the key takes away and put them into these 10 to 15 minutes blinks. But I would really like to share a blink with you today, because a blink I have read myself is called A Minute to Think by Juliet Fund. I really enjoyed that because it added some true value to my daily routines, where I try to stay healthy and decrease stress in my life. But of course I still want to be creative and productive. But more than that, this blink kind of taught me how important it is to stop and think. not just do. Because someone like me that is doing this all by myself and working from home, I could easily fall into the trap of just constantly working non-stop, but that could really kill my creativity. I need to press the pause button and stop working to keep up my productivity and creativity. Just as I learned from this Blink, a study done by Microsoft in Japan showed that working a 4-day week instead of a 5-day week boosted productivity by 40% and cut overhead costs by nearly 25% for the company. It really shows us the importance of taking a break. So don't tell me you're too busy to pause and take a break, because you will get more done and be more creative if you take breaks often. Even just a minute every hour will actually help you. If you want to learn more about this, I can highly recommend the Blink A Minute to Think, one of the 22 ideas for 2022 book list on Blinkist, because there was just so much more to learn about taking a break and all the benefits of it. So please do yourself a favor, click my link below where you right now will get a 7-day free trial and 20% off premium membership, and listen to this Blink, maybe at 1.25 the speed, so you can learn it a bit quicker and get back to work. But seriously though, don't forget those breaks. And thanks to Blinkist for teaching me all this great knowledge in an easy and fast way. And thank you so much for sponsoring this video. And we have got confirmation on Tesla's next Gigafactory, and it will be in China, just next to the other one. According to a letter that Tesla sent to local officials and seen by Reuters about the reopening of the Shanghai factory, well, the letter also outlined how Tesla planned to further expand its plant in Shanghai, confirming the rumors from Reuters on this that we talked about back in February. Tesla will build a new plant on nearby land in the same area, which is supposed to add an annual capacity of 450,000 cars and becoming the world's largest vehicle export hub. But we don't officially know what cars this factory will be producing, if it's more of the Model Y and Model 3, or maybe the new cheaper model. We have to wait and see. But again, 450,000 in production, well, they still have the old factory at 450,000, and that is about to have an annual production capacity of over 1 million. So we also have to wait and see if this factory will only be a 450,000 units factory, or if Tesla is actually sandbagging yet again. But no matter what, if it will be able to produce about 500,000 vehicles and the other one over 1 million vehicles, well, we are looking at 1.5 million units out of Shanghai alone. And this is China. So if they will start construction of this factory soon, well, the factory should be up and running by next year. So some might be scared about Tesla betting too hard on China, but I think it will be all right. Tesla and Elon Musk really seems to have a great working relationship with the Chinese government, and China is the world's biggest car market. So of course they need to be there with more than just one factory that they have right now. And remember, this is only the beginning. Elon has said they plan for another 10 Gigafactories. So Tesla will have a lot more factories all around the planet. So they are not just putting all their eggs in one basket in China. But we also have to remember that China is the place to be when it comes to the EV market. Firstly, they are the EV market that is growing faster than anywhere else. So the demand is pretty much endless right now. And don't forget, China is the absolute dominating force when it comes to processing of key minerals for batteries. So the step after the mining of the minerals and actually making it into the materials that we use in the batteries. Just look at this little chart here showing the difference between China, Europe and the US. So we all already rely on China big time, as you can see here, from 59% for some minerals to 100% of the graphite is being chemically refined in China. So no matter if you like it or not, we all depend on China right now. So there is really not a reason to not be betting on China. It would be a very good thing if we could get the US and Europe and other places to start refining minerals so China does not have this kind of monopoly. But for now, they have. So for Tesla to bet big and rely on China, I don't really see it as a risky business because we already do that anyway. And China is by far the biggest car market and pushing hardest for EVs, so it would be absolutely insane for Tesla not to bet big on China. And GM has a new pre-order record that they need to pay attention to. GM has 140,000 pre-orders for their Silverado electric pickup truck. Understandable, since the Silverado seems like a very capable electric truck. So that is awesome, but that is actually the most pre-ordered of any car GM has ever made in its history. This should show GM and others the huge demand there is for EVs. Don't understand how they can continue to be so surprised by the EV demand. So the only thing missing now is GM showing us they can actually produce EVs at high volume, because through the last 6 months they have produced less than 500 EVs. So not something that gives us a lot of confidence in the company's ability to execute on all the talk they have done. But Mary Barra wants to change all of that. She will make it so that all executives will get bonus solely relying on how well they perform on producing and selling EVs. Well, not Mary Barra herself, of course. No, not leading by example here. Even though GM sales have only been going down, GM thought it would be fitting to give Mary Barra a 23% raise, so she now earns about $27 million a year. There is just something very, very wrong with the signal GM and Mary embarrassing is sending to the whole organization by forcing the others to be measured on the EV performance, but Mary can get a big raise even though GM so far has been falling with their EV production, and the company has collapsed from 10 million vehicles in sale to just over 6 million vehicles in sale under Mary's great leadership. And the Ford Mark E is a great EV, and when it came out it was both called a Tesla killer and it was eating into Tesla's sales. Well, let's see how this competitor is doing. Well, let's start with Tesla's birthplace, California. Here, Tesla dominates California's EV sales in Q1 2022, takes the top 3 spots. Tesla accounted for 78% of the 67,118 battery electric vehicles sold in California, the largest automotive market in the US, during the first quarter of the year. Tesla's Model 3 was the best-selling plug-in vehicle in California with 24,375 units sold, with the Model Y trailed behind in close second with a total of 23,117 units sold. The third place also belonged to Tesla, with the Model S at 3,557 units. Quite the jump there. And the first non-Tesla was the Hyundai Ioniq 5 in 4th place with 1,959 units, and the fifth, the Ford Mustang Mach-E with 1,664 cars sold. So even though the Model S cost almost twice as much as the Mach-E, the Tesla Model S still outsold the Mach-E with twice as many units. California is of course the birthplace of Tesla, but still really not any competition between the two. The Model Y sold almost 14 times more in the first quarter. And if we take all of the US sales from Ford, they still only sold a total of 6,734 Mark E's in the US, still about 3.5 times less than the Model Y sales in just California. And we can actually see that the Mark E sales decreased in both February and March. Don't know how that is even possible with this increase of EV sales, where Tesla in all of the US sold 50,834 units of the Model Y. So not really any competition here in the US either. So what about China? Well, the Model Y was also China's best-selling premium SUV for the first quarter as per CPCA's data. A total of 74,681 Model Ys were sold in Q1 2022 in China, putting it far ahead of Mercedes-Benz GLC, which sold 45,000 units in the same period, and BMW's X3 that came in third with a total of 39,592 units. So the Model Y is beating even the ICE cars here, and even beating the BMW X3 with just the Model Y's March numbers, where it sold 39,760 units just in March. And when we just look at the SUVs, Model Y is still the number one, just in front of BYD's Song. But Tesla did also really ramp up the Model Y production from just 1 year ago. Tesla's Model Y was up 354.8% from the 16,422 units that were sold in Q1 of 2021. So very impressive growth here. But where do we find the Mark E? Well, in March it sold 969 units, compared to the Model Y's 39,595 units, so about 40 times more than the Mark E. To be fair, the Mark E did not start deliveries before December the 26th last year, but the Mark E in China is locally produced, so they are not shipping them from the US. But they still have some ramping up to do, both in China and with their new Rouge factory in the US. But we already know that that factory will only be able to produce about 150,000 units in a year. That has to be shipped to Europe as well, so will probably not help the Mark E in the fight against the Model Y much. That is now being produced in both America in 2 factories, in China and in Europe. And speaking of Europe, the Model Y is also leading over the Mark E here. We don't have all the numbers, but according to EU-EVs.com, we can see that the Model Y has sold about 14,827 units, and the Mark E 4,375 units. So the Model Y still beats the Mark E with more than 3-1. So as we have seen with all the competition and Tesla killers, they are all pretty much out now, but no one really has the production volume of Tesla, because it's not like they are bad EVs. Just like the Mark E, it is a great EV. But what the short sellers thought was old legacy automakers' advantage, production at scale, well, it turned out that Tesla became better at it before the old guys even really got off the ground with their EV production. Now that is really a testimony to Tesla's pace of innovation. Like Elon says, that is the only thing that matters. And let's get our weekly update about Tesla's Gigafactories. That means handing it over to Brian from My Tesla Weekend. Take it away, Brian.
Hey Lars, well let's keep it quick this week. In Shanghai, we do have new footage. It doesn't show any progress. In Berlin, there's a new utility extension going over the road at the north end of the factory. The solar panels are expanding along the main building, and there's a new road going in just to the west of the Motorworks building. The 4680 plant is still inching along, and there is dirt been put down in the northeast corner near the loading logistics area for imminent landscaping. In Texas, the bag plant is gone. Yes, the old concrete bag plant is mostly torn down. By the time you see this, it probably is torn down. There's a fancy new entrance on the east side of the building, and the solar on the roof continues to expand, spelling out the letter L in Tesla in negative space. Back to you, Lars.
Thank you so much for the update, Brian. See you next week. And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this news show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla Shorts. BYD continues to make new records in deliveries in new energy vehicles. In April, they sold 106,042 units. That still include hybrids, but 57,403 was BEVs. So still a very impressive number. But what I like to point out here is look at the difference from just 1 year ago. That is insane and really shows us the implications of a car company that really 100% have ditched their ICE cars and 100% are focusing on plug-in vehicles. Then the real scale can begin. Let this be a lesson to the old automakers, what it will mean to be all in, not just 5% in. And Edmunds made a range test of the Lucid Air, and it became the first EV to surpass 500 miles in Edmunds testing. Very cool and well done, Lucid. And if you're wondering what kind of beer the Tesla Giga Bear is going to be, well, it has already been brewed. Almost. Because these guys from Clawhammer Supply have tried to brew what they think the Giga Beer will be, and even got their buddy Aaron from SolidWorks Tutorials to 3D print the Giga Beer bottle. Pretty cool. They are really entertaining and put together some cool videos, so if you would like to see what the Tesla Giga Beer might look like and taste like, well, check out the video. I will leave a link down below. And Klaus Lundström shared this picture with me where he rendered a Model Y through Hertz in Iceland. So guess it's not only in the US Hertz is getting Teslas. Very cool. But check out that number plate of the Volvo next to it. Toxic. And here's a great visual of the pollution an ICE car does in just 1 minute of idling. Yep, that is why it is illegal here in Denmark to keep your engine running for more than 1 minute, because it is polluting as hell. And here you can see a little chart of the amount of EVs on the road in my country of Denmark. And as you can see, the amount of EVs on the road has more than doubled over the last year. And it's not just Tesla fans that likes their EV so much that they will make free advertising for them. A NIO owner reached out to the electric vehicle maker and offered resources she had from media company Han Media to help get the ET7 sedan on a giant screen in the middle of Wuhan. Nice. Yes, people are just enjoying all the great EVs coming to market. And Elon also took his mom to Met Gala because his mom really wanted to go. So Elon took her and it looked like they had some fun mom and son time together. And as I talked about in my video about BYD last week, they did become the third biggest EV battery manufacturer in the world. Very impressive, but CATL will remain the largest by far with 33.3 gigawatt hours in the first quarter of 2022, which was a 35% share of the total EV battery production. So even though Tesla is not even on this list yet, I still believe in just a couple of years we will see them on this list, maybe already next year, as BYD produce about 10 gigawatt hours in a quarter and Tesla aims for 100 gigawatt hour annually from both Berlin and Texas. So I think Tesla will quickly become the biggest EV battery manufacturer in the world. And take a look at this picture about a Tesla meetup in Romania. That looks pretty cool. The old castle in the back with a bunch of new shiny white Teslas in the front. Very cool. And Tesla's 2022 annual shareholder meeting has been announced and it will be on August the 4th in Austin, Texas. So put that one in your calendar. And Volkswagen CEO Herbert Diess said last Sunday in an online AMA that with a 30% productivity disadvantage, we are not competitive. So just confirming once again that they are not able to be competitive with Tesla that makes EVs 3 times faster than they do, and that will not change for the next 4 years until they have their new Trinity factory up and running. But then again, where will Tesla be in 4 years' time? Yep, exactly. No catching Tesla. And the Tesla Model 3 did it again. It was the #1 most registered vehicle overall in March 2022 in Europe. And the Tesla Model Y was not far behind as the 3rd most registered model during the month. Both of them beating the Volkswagen Golf, that historically have been Europe's best-selling car. That also was down 36% in March. Yes, Tesla's rise continue as well as the collapse of the ICE car. SpaceX engineer says that NASA should plan for Starship's significant capabilities. Starship can land 100 tons on the lunar surface, said R.T. Matthews, Starship Human Landing System Program Manager for SpaceX. NASA has chosen a system with a lot more capability. Starship will in fact be able to deliver 100 metric tons to the surface of the moon, more than 100 times NASA's baseline goal. We all need to be thinking bigger and better and really inspirational about what we can do, Matthews said. Anyone who has worked on a hardware design for space application knows you are fighting for kilograms. Sometimes you're fighting for grams, and that takes up so much time and energy. It really limits ultimately what your system can do. That's gone away entirely. Yes, NASA needs to start thinking as big as SpaceX to really utilize what they are able to do. And Tesla has now opened up more superchargers to every EV owner in Norway. About 68% of Tesla superchargers are now open to everyone, making them Norway's biggest network of fast chargers. This expansion makes 30% more CCS fast chargers available to the public than before Tesla's expansion. Very cool. And I know this is not a new video clip, but I think it just shows what great potential Neuralink has against Parkinson. With deep brain stimulation, we can treat movement disorders associated with Parkinson's disease, as this clip of Justin Fields shows. This is not Neuralink, but Neuralink will be able to do the same, but without the wires sticking out of your head. You won't even be able to tell you have something implanted in your brain, and it will be controlled by an app on your phone. Neuralink is going to change so many lives for the better. Can't wait for Neuralink to really get this off the ground. And a quick little story about getting butts in seats, because the more people that tries a Tesla out, the more people are convinced of the EV revolution. Niklas here shared on Twitter this little story about a truck driver that literally hated electric cars, but via one test drive in a Tesla Model Y, and he was hooked for life. This is the future. I get bullied at work sometimes because I was so mad at electric cars enthusiast before. Now I've turned 180. Yep, once you try a Tesla, there is no turning back. And apparently Tesla finally added screen swivel to the refreshed Model S. Don't know if this is real, but looks pretty legit. If so, very cool. And don't forget to check out Blinkist with my link below and get your 7-day free trial and 20% off. And before we end off with a bit of fun, I just want to make a quick shout out to my newest patrons and members of this YouTube channel. Daniel Murphy, Sean Hyeth, Daniel Rickland. And my new thank you for watching members, Klaus Werner. Thank you so much for all your support. I am doing this all by myself, but you guys are all the producers of this new show. Thank you. And a big and special thanks to Supporter of the Week. And this week's winner is Norman Hayes. Norman has been a thank you for watching members of mine for 16 months. Thank you so much for all your support, Norman. Really, really appreciate it. Please contact me on this email address so I can get your address and send you your t-shirt or mug of your choice. Thank you. And let's end off with a bit of fun. Let's see the legacy automakers trying to get the fire going under their EV sales. That is all we have time for in this news show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help out this video a lot. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for your support. And if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel and get your shout out on this show. You can also become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out and some extra perks. Hit the members button to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I tweet all the news as it comes out and more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. Now it's also possible to support the show without buying anything, becoming a member or a patron. There is a link to donation options in the show notes. But going forward, I will be making more videos for patrons and members only. And I will give my YouTube members and patrons early access to my videos whenever possible and make my videos ads free for members and patrons only. So don't miss out. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.